In this video, I will discuss pre-writing techniques, which will include clustering and mapping, free writing, listing, answering questions, and rating. You're probably familiar with all or most of these techniques, so I'll just briefly talk about each one. And I do suggest using at least one of these methods to help get your writing started, especially if you're having trouble generating ideas. These techniques can help you come up with ideas to write about. So we're going to talk about free writing first. Free writing simply means to list all of the ideas about a topic that pop into your mind without worrying about grammar or spelling or anything like that. You're just simply coming up with as much information about the topic as possible and writing that information down. The next type of pre-writing option is listing. So for example, if you already like to make daily to-do lists, this is a great option for you. You simply list your main topic and then any ideas associated with that topic. The next pre-writing technique is to answer questions. So sometimes it's helpful to write down your topic and then ask questions about that topic. For example, we are going to talk about in a minute loko'ia or fish ponds. And you could start by writing a question such as, what is the history of loko'ia? And then writing any answers you know from there. Or what were the specific types of loko'ia? Or what restoration activities are currently happening with loko'ia? And that will help you to prepare for the next technique, which is reading. Maybe you can answer some of the questions you asked really easily. Maybe some of them you can't answer so easily. Then that will help you know where to look in terms of finding more information. So you might sometimes just have to do a little bit of research about your topic by reading or even asking other people about your topic who might be knowledgeable about that subject. And then the last technique is clustering or mapping. I'm actually going to call in my husband for a little help with this one. This example is mapping, and this is a common type of pre-writing. So you can see that I put the topic, loko'ia or fish ponds, in the center, and then I'm just going to branch off with ideas associated with loko'ia. And again, this is to help generate ideas to help you later form your writing assignments or your essays. So I have three different categories, types, actually two different categories, types and history. With the first, with types, I have listed different types branching off from that subcategory types. So we have loko'ia kalo, and then I made another note branching off from that this is a combo of kalo and ia. And lokovai, with a note that this is an inland or freshwater pond. And you can include as much information or not. I tend to prefer to be brief, as you can see, just a little note to help generate ideas. And then you can see I have added a couple other types of ponds with a little more information about those specific types. And then the next category is history. So I have ku'ula, who is supposed to be the first person who created the first fish pond, and that was in Maui. And it's estimated in the next section that around 488 ponds were in operation at one time. One of those specific ponds was in Pu'uloa, which is Pearl Harbor, and that was actually a center for fish pond cultivation. So you can add more. It just depends on how detailed you want to get with your information. And this is just another way to gather ideas. So again, mapping and any of the other techniques that I briefly mentioned are good ways to organize your ideas so you can generate some specific information to write about. And then from there, you'll go into the next type or step of writing, which is to shape your ideas into something more solid and from that point you'll be creating outlines. If you have any questions about any of these types of pre-writing techniques, I'm happy to go over them in more detail with you. Mahalo.